Hey there everyone and welcome to Adobe Live. I'm Flynn and I'm here with Demas Rusli. How are you going?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm really good. We made it through an entire month of Creative Challenge.
We did. It was really fun. Got to teach 3 really fun techniques and I'm really happy with that everyone submitted, and there's some really cool stuff that we can talk about today.
Yeah, shout out to the audience for participation. This has been really great. That's what we want you to do. So if you're not sure what the Creative Challenge is, basically for 3 weeks we've done a different challenge and given you some assets that you can play with, and also encouraged you to kind of think outside the box as well with your submissions. And then some of you have been submitting some of your work, and we've been sort of keeping an eye on them, checking them out.
Yeah.
And it's been really, really, really great. So if you do want to have a shout out or ask any questions, we'll probably have a couple of minutes during today's session if you do have any questions, because we're going to give a little bit of feedback.
Yep.
So feedback's always important, so we can all improve and we can learn together. And we'll probably explain each creative challenge as we go through. So we have part 1, part 2, and then part 3, and then we'll kind of do a bit of a wrap up of kind of submissions and any kind of parting tips and advice.
Yep.
And if any questions pop up through that process, then you guys just ask us in chat. So you can log into the chat using your Adobe ID, and yeah, give us some questions. So without any further ado, do we want to kind of go through the very first creative challenge?
Yes, let's do that. So the first creative challenge we did was to accentuate or emphasize more motion blur in a panning photo, to give it like a more like speedy look, and like just a different, like a mesh of colors instead of a panning shot usually like 1/5 of a second, so you can't get that full blur that you really want.
Yeah.
So we've shortlisted a bunch of our favorites, I guess, and we're just going to talk through how awesome they are.
Yeah.
Maybe also give some pointers on how to improve as well.
Yeah, fantastic. So this is one of the first submissions we have from the shortlist.
Yeah, so I guess Sawyer, he took the brief and sort of used both images, both the zebra cross below and the top image, and he combined them and he followed it really well.
Yeah.
I don't really have any critiques on this one. It's actually really good. Yeah.
Cool. So this is like a really good example of someone that like followed the brief.
Yes.
Took the assets that were provided and just did a really great job at executing it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Some cool.
Then the next one is my actually good friend Declan. I really like this one because there's actually like some motion in front of the car.
Right.
See, like here, you can see like some streaks there, and like here it gives like more layers to the photo, which is really cool. He took his own photo.
Nice.
So that's a good step. That's a big bonus.
Yep.
And yeah, like the whole background motion, it's really good. He blurred the ground as well, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's super cool.
This one, I kind of like the difference.
Yeah.
Of it, like it's like much more zoomed in, a different sort of composition.
Is this the taxi that was supplied?
So. I think this is his own one.
Different one? Okay, cool.
I think if I was to, critique something, I would say the taxi could be a little bit sharper, but that's in the creating of the image rather than the editing process.
Because if I remember correctly, because the figure often is so small, like in yours, to give things scale and kind of sense of scale and depth, I guess. I remember noting that you would often go around the edges with a slight blur.
Yeah.
But because you really want the front to be in focus, here it's a little bit blurry.
Yeah, but then a panning shot's always hard to get right.
Right.
So this is probably a standard panning shot.
Yeah.
But if you just spend maybe 15-20 minutes more just trying to get it right, you probably end up getting a sharper one.
Right.
And then you can still do the same thing with the background.
Cool.
I like how it looks like he's also blurred like inside the window, which is quite cool. Like, so it's like,
oh right,
so it's not just the outside of the car, but you can see through the window and it's still blurred.
And there's a bit of a reflection. Do you think that could be blurred, like in the back window on the right hand side?
Yeah, I think so. That could be.
You could probably add a little bit of attention to detail to kind of get that.
Yeah. But overall, I really like the difference of it and like a different take on a panning shot. Usually it's like a full car with a scene.
Yeah.
So there's like a cropped in shot with the driver. You can see the driver there, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a great use of that technique in like a way that we hadn't quite anticipated, which is really cool.
Yeah, definitely. This one, I really like how they've put a reflection at the bottom.
Yeah, that's cool.
So they've used the technique to create the pan, and then they've flipped it upside down, and the reflection looks quite real, which is awesome. And this is, I think, a very well done attempt at that.
Yeah, good job.
So that's good. Can't go wrong with the Iron Man one.
It's an upgrade from the 1.3 cabs car.
Much faster.
Yeah, it's way faster.
He posted this like literally 2 days after the first creative challenge.
Right.
And it was awesome to see because he's used like his own take on like cartoons.
Yeah.
And blurred whatever background he was on. So it was really cool, and it fit the Marvel theme. Endgame just came out at the time, and it was awesome.
It was a topical moment in history.
And I like how he's like rotated, like it's on an angle.
I was going to say,
it's
pretty cool just to see that technique just used in a different way. Yeah.
The next one, this one was something I spoke about as well, like a different way of how to use motion blur and what other applications you can use motion blur with. So this kind of gives like a abstract feel to, the city skyline, and it's like adds more texture to the sky. And I thought this was a very well done, good job at it.
Yeah, because this 10 points for watching the entire live stream, I think, for this person, because right at the end, I think we went through and we showed that you could do a vertical version. Yep. So I think it's someone that's really familiar with your work, because you have a version of doing this, which I think is super cool. Yeah. It's a very similar technique, but it's just a totally kind of different output.
Yep, I think so.
Which is awesome.
That's really cool. Like, you can see, I think he's like separated different buildings as well, so it's not like not everything is motion blur. So it's like done like layers and stuff, which is really good. Yeah,
because it feels like this effect is something you could really easily overdo, and it just takes you too far out. That everything looks super fake.
Exactly.
But this is a nice, gentle, subtle. There we go. That's good.
And then this is something I picked for the last one for the creative challenge. I think the overall image and the colors and the tones are really nice, but I think what could be done is you could have probably motion blurred the bottom half.
Right.
Because right now it looks like the top is moving really fast, but then the bottom is really still.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense when you think about like photography and the car's moving, you're moving, so the floor shouldn't be moving. But I mean, that's just another layer of masking and spending a little bit more time on just adding that extra layer of motion blur.
Right.
But yeah, those are some really awesome entries, I thought.
Yeah, they're great.
And yeah.
Well done everyone. And it's so great to see so many submissions come through. Do you have your original? Chance?
I've got my Instagram page here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is, hopefully it loads. Somewhere. Hopefully I can find it.
We're all sharing Wi-Fi today.
I think it's maybe, I think it's coming up pretty soon.
It's coming, you guys.
Yeah, there it is. So that's the original one that I posted on my Instagram.
Yeah, cool.
A while ago.
Any critique for yourself? No, just kidding.
Always can be better.
It's true. We can all be better. But I think it's great in context for those that may not have seen the original one to sort of see, where this kind of idea came from and the technique. That's
the first one, and then I kind of expanded it a little bit more with a train. So like the movement of the train and the train being still. And then I did another one with a Hong Kong taxi with like yellow zebra crossing.
Yeah.
So it's like just different iterations of it. I kind of like this one because you can see the hood of the car. It's not like a straight side on.
Right.
So you can see the full car. You're kind of on a high angle.
Yeah,
So it's slightly a bit different. But yeah, that's what the original challenge was. And thank you so much for all the submissions. They were really awesome.
Yeah, super great.
Should we move on to number 2?
Number 2. Let's do it.
Maybe we could go back to what it was. If I can find it. I think that was further back. So that was mirroring. So mirroring something. Oh, maybe we can open this one for later. because that's challenge 3.
You're thinking with your head. It's great.
But I think it's just before this.
Got to stop posting so much.
I know, the internet
Just too
seems to be a bit faster.
Yeah, you're probably right. The internet should probably be a little bit faster here.
Here it is.
There it is.
So this was challenge number. Ooh, maybe I opened too many tabs.
Yeah, two. Too many.
So this is challenge number 2, where I took a photo at an art gallery, and it's only on one side, and I flipped it to the other side using Photoshop mirroring, and then I changed the colors to make it not look so mirrored.
Yeah.
And so it kind of looks like it's part of one artwork.
Yeah, and there's quite a lot of cleanup as well. I remember you doing that. I hadn't assumed that you would have needed to do, but just like where some lines kind of joined and made it really,
exactly.
As soon as you remove them, it just really helped sort of your mind think, oh yeah, this is working really, really well.
Yeah. So going back to some entries, Geetha S submitted this.
Cool.
On the WeBox.
Good job.
I think it's really good. One thing I would do, see how like the middle there, like what you were saying before, how like this is kind of poking out and then that's kind of coming in.
Right, so you're getting this kind of cross effect.
I would either keep the triangle or try to get rid of this little one, so it's just like have a point of difference. But I mean, overall, it's a really good job.
Yeah.
I also feel that she's not 100% straight. I'm very like.
Oh, your
my eyes.
Your eye. Okay.
Architecturally, like everything has to be straight.
Okay, I see.
But she's kind of skewed a little bit to the side. But I mean, that's just very minor details that you could fix.
Right.
Next one. This one I think was quite well done.
Well, I've done a great job of following the brief. I love this that we're kind of starting out with the people, the people that have followed the brief, which is the whole point, is to give this a go and try it. So you guys have done a great job.
One thing here that I could see would be how, like, the straight lines could be straighter. See how this kind of has a little wonkiness to it, and this wall should be straight. Like, if that was both straight, kind of hides the illusion that it's been mirrored more.
Right.
So if you have like a
because like remind me, did you play with the perspective?
I did. I used guidelines to try and make all the walls straight.
Fairly early on, right? Yeah.
Before you mirror it.
Before you mirrored, yeah. So that's a good trick.
Yeah. I mean, this was really well done as well with the change of color. Everything looks quite cool.
Yeah, good job.
The next one is something different, but at the same time, it's the same technique, right? Mirroring a wall of flowers, I think.
Yes. And
flipping it to the other side to make it look like it's a corridor of flowers.
Yeah, awesome.
So yeah, that's really cool. Good to see. Yeah, looks like he's mastered quite nicely with the reflection. Everything looks all right.
And what about above her head? You're kind of getting this almost kaleidoscope kind of pattern.
Yeah.
Would you keep that in? Would you play with that?
Well, that's from the mirroring, right? Like that's. You could either keep it or. I think it's not bad. It kind of has an arrow pointing down at
pointing at your figure, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like directing it.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's quite well done. Then this one is also a similar technique used. He's also added an extra layer at the back.
Right.
So I've been to this location and I know there isn't tiles at the back behind the person.
Right.
So he's added tiles at the back.
Oh, so the wall doesn't look like that at all.
Yeah, it's just a white wall at the very back. So he's gone an extra step and added he's probably standing in front of the wall and then masked himself in front.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so that's really good. Yeah, well done.
It's quite effective with the like the Happy Days typography going up there because it kind of tricks your mind into thinking, well, that's obviously a real place because you have that thing that's grounding you, just like the figure does.
Yep.
Which is kind of adds to it.
Yeah, the Happy Days and the good vibes like leads you towards the person as well.
Was that what it says? Good vibes?
The back one says good vibes.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
It's a positive message. I like it.
It is. No, these are really good. I think this is more like a Instagram sort of like, I don't know, like pet, like as in like, I want to try to use the full frame.
Right.
Like not crop it.
Right. The letterboxing kind of thing. Yep.
Yeah. So you get a maximum like effect on when people are looking at your photos.
Right. Cool.
Yeah. And this is, I guess, something completely different.
Yeah.
But he's used the same effect. Jesus
76AO.
Jesus,
well done.
So it's the Harbour Bridge, but like, I mean, Tower Bridge is already symmetrical.
Right.
But I noticed that it's mirrored because the buildings on both sides are the same.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because, I mean, the city's only on one side. The other side, when you look at it down from North Sydney, you don't see buildings on the other side.
That's true. Maybe there was a big boat that they just really wanted to get out of the way.
Maybe.
So.
But I mean, like, it makes the city look much more full.
That's true.
It makes Sydney look double the size than it actually is, right?
That's true.
So
that's what we need, cool. More people, more congestion.
I think if I was to critique this, I would say try to change something on one side so it doesn't look too mirrored.
Right.
So either maybe change the color of, the orange, or like maybe delete one of the buildings or something. Like, so, I mean, Centrepoint's quite iconic, so maybe delete Centrepoint from one side.
That's true, there's only one of those, yeah.
So, yeah, that kind of stuff really can push your photo one step further.
Yeah.
Because then you look at, like, is it mirrored? Is it not? You kind of start thinking about it a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. So you could put like a boat or something in there.
Yeah, like a boat or like something that changes the other side so it's not perfectly mirrored. Yeah.
I like it. It's good advice.
So those were the submissions for the second one.
Cool. Great really job, cool. Guys. I'd love that people take the technique and just try new interesting things and experiment.
Definitely.
I think we've spoken about that together on a live stream before, like getting out and trying to make things your own, taking techniques that work and then experimenting with them in other fields and trying to make it your own, put your own little twist on it. So good job, everyone that did that.
Yeah, well done. The third challenge was this one, where I've taken 1/4 of like a lookup from Hong Kong and mirrored it 4 times and added a plane to create like my own version of a Hong Kong apartment block.
Yeah.
And there were quite a lot of entries for this one. But I mean, if you use my photo, it's all going to look kind of similar.
Right.
So I mean, there we can go through some of the entries.
Cool.
So the first one, I mean, Swoira again. This is really well done. The colors are really nice. I like how he's added like more reds to it. It kind of makes it pop out of the image a lot more. And yeah, the lines are straight. Everything looks really good.
Yeah, it's great. And the vinaigrette as well, I think works really, really well.
Yes. You said vinaigrette?
Vinaigrette? No, wait. Yeah. That's
food.
That's like a salad dressing, isn't it? Well, that's good too.
They're both good.
They're both good.
They're both great.
Yeah. Well done. It looks delicious.
This is another one. Also well done. I think if I was to say something, the horizontal gap doesn't look the same as the vertical gap.
Right, so the distance between.
It's also the straightening of it.
Yeah, it's a bit thicker on the edge and a bit tighter.
Yeah, and it's like a triangle rather than a straight line. So
right.
You could probably play with that one corner and fix that quite easily, and then you mirror it again. The plane, I think, could be smaller, because I think planes are usually really high. I mean, it's all make-believe anyway, so...
I think that's quite a hard thing to do. I noticed that when you were showing your original and how to do it, how small you took this original plane, how big it was and how small you actually ended up making it.
Yeah.
Which is probably from experience. You're like, it's a plane.
Yeah, I've done it like pretty big before, and it's like doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of make it small but still visible. So it's just the balance between having it so small and being seen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there were a couple, like this one was really cool. Like it's his own take on like a lookup.
Yeah,
and
nice.
He flipped it 4 times as well, and it makes it like a really cool.
Is this a different photo or is this the same photo?
Not my photo. This is his own photo.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's taken that and used his own photo and again Photoshop the plane on top. Maybe it's just my screenshot that's a bit blurry, but I think on Instagram it looks fine.
Right.
And there's one last one. This one I thought it was like a really cool sort of abstract effect, but I think what I would have done is sort of mirrored it the other way.
Right.
Because right now it looks like the building's concaving, like doing sort of the perspective.
Oh, right.
Sort of
I see what you mean. They're kind of opening this way and then out this way, right?
Whereas
rather than in.
Yeah, flip in, it looks like it's enclosing the plane. But I mean, I like the effect's really cool, and yeah, I think it's still well done.
Yeah, great job.
Yeah, that's all the ones I've picked.
Those are our submissions.
I mean, there are heaps other ones I could just kind of scroll through.
We can have a flick through.
They're all like really cool and awesome to see. That everyone's trying it out and giving it a go. Yeah, this one also did the reflection, which is really cool.
Cool.
Yeah, it adds like it's been raining or something, like, you know.
Yeah, it adds like a gloss to
cool.
it.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Some bike ones, some taxi ones. Yeah.
Excellent.
A lot of the panning ones, I think the panning was the most popular one out of them all. I think it's a lot of people do it as well. And like
this one here.
Yeah, like
the
this
motion.
one had a lot of submissions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's excellent.
And then there was some more on the Webbox.
That's right. So yeah, people could submit in here. That guy doesn't look like he's going that fast.
Which one?
The guy on the bike.
Yeah, I think adding more blur, you know. You could add a little bit more and get rid of like all the window frame at the back and just like all lines. Right. But yeah, thank you so much for all the entries. They were like so cool to see.
Do you have any like general feedback for everyone?
I think just generally think about like real life situations. So like think about what would it actually look like in real life and apply that to your edit.
Right.
And so like if the lighting's off here or something, try to darken some parts or brighten some parts and like just like think about, you know, if I'm actually seeing this in real life, will it look like this?
Right. So you gotta have that like reality check.
Yes.
Like look away and then look back and think, you know, is this real? Even if it is a surreal image, but what of this? What would this actually be if it was real? I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always the thought when you're editing, right? Like just, you know, you want to look believable.
Yeah.
At the same time, you don't want it to look like it's fake. So,
yeah.
Yeah. You want people to ask where it is, or like if it's another location, and you trick people into thinking it's real. Or something.
Oh, right.
Like where is this? Where is this? Like that kind of stuff.
I guess that was again like this is one of my favorite things from I think the second one, the mirroring one, that made me think a little bit more about my photos and taking photos in space where there's just all these people and the left side was really boring and there's like a fire exit and signage that doesn't match the you know the artwork, but you just go, okay, cool, great, well I'll just take a photo of this and then I'll do something with that half of it, which I think can really change your framework of you know what is possible.
This was one I posted last night actually. So it's like an expansion of a space. So originally it only looks like this,
right?
So and I made it bigger and I turned it into like 7 columns instead of 3.
Right.
And then I made it even bigger.
Made it even bigger.
Like
wow.
11. So it's just all from one photo.
Wow. Super cool.
So yeah, there's like, you know, just try to play with it and try to challenge yourself. And you know, whatever's in the frame is not necessarily what you might come up with in the end. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Great job. Great job, everyone. Did you have any standout people that you thought did a particularly good job? Yeah, I think Swoira did a really good job. Yeah. He submitted on all 3 as well, which is super cool to see. Like that he's participating and engaging and awesome. Well done, and he followed all the briefs like really well. That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, we've actually got a surprise for Swoira. If you're watching, if not, we can always chase you up as well. We're really impressed by the submission, so we're going to give you a Creative Cloud submission for a year, which we thought would be nice. Congratulations. Good stuff. And maybe they can get in touch with you. Yeah, on Instagram, because send them a message as well. Send them a message. Say congrats from us. Will do. Thanks so much for the awesome submission and following the brief. So. And just so many people doing such a good job and having a go at all different levels of experience. So there's obviously some people that are quite comfortable taking their own photos, kind of taking the brief and then adding to it, but also people that have, you know, potentially nowhere near as much experience, but they've had a go, which is awesome. Exactly. Really awesome to see. And thank you for coming on. No, it's really good. Awesome always to be here and share and teach and yeah, it's always good. Yeah, it's been fantastic for us as well. And should we do a final plug for your Instagram? That's the best place for people to follow you. We've done a bit of that, but So yeah, if you want to follow me or find the rest of my work, it's just at Demas, DMAS, and on Instagram, and Demas Rusli everywhere else.
Yeah, well, we'll be following you there along with everyone else. Thank you everyone for joining the chat, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.